We're still at least several months away from what could be one of the biggest murder trials in Orange County history. Talking, of course, about the case against Casey Anthony. Well, tonight, News 13's Adam Longo is getting exclusive insight of the courtroom strategies her attorneys are using to try and get her out of jail.
An Osceola County man, an alleged murderer, walked out of these doors a free man just this past Monday. Now, it's not really who he is that we'll be focusing on. It's his lawyer, Jose Baez, Casey Anthony's attorney. We're trying to learn what things he employed in the courtroom here that we also might see in the Casey Anthony case.
The only thing I remember that when I wake up, I was in the hospital. And next thing that I know, next day I was in jail.
Rafael Contreras has two young daughters. He used to be a truck driver. In February of 2008, he was thrown in jail for attempted first-degree murder. He spent 20 months in jail, and he just got out last Monday.
I feel like it's really unbelievable.
I saw a lot of problems with the state's case.
Rafael's family hired Jose Baez last summer after firing their first attorney. Rafael proclaimed his innocence and rejected a plea deal from the state.
They asked him, the offer is 20 years in prison. Do you want to take it? And his answer was no.
What was he facing?
He was facing life in prison.
In court, the state argued Rafael had been thrown out of a Kissimmee bar, returned with a gun, and then shot the owner. They had 8 eyewitnesses. But Baez and his team broke down the state's case piece by piece, showing the jury this side-by-side photo. Rafael on the left, his alleged target on the right. The defense asking, who's really the victim? The defense told the jury Rafael was beaten severely by other men inside the bar, and that the man who was shot set the whole thing up after learning Rafael was having an affair with his wife. The defense highlighted an expert who said the man's wound was consistent with being self-inflicted. Forensic scientists pointed to blood splatter evidence as proof the alleged victim was lying.
You always put your heart and soul into a case, and I don't think the arguments would be as persuasive if you didn't.
The defense had thousands of pictures, charts, graphs, a picture of a muzzle burn on the alleged victim's face they say was self-inflicted. During his 20 months in jail, Rafael says it was Baez who kept his spirits up.
Where I was down, so he always giving me hope, like, don't worry, trust me, everything's going to come out okay.
These people put their lives in your hand, and they trust in you, and that's not something that you can take lightly.
What do you think? What's the next step?
Well, trying to get my job back.
Rafael now has his life back. He says his faith kept him strong.
I put my hope in the Lord in hand, and that he's going to do the right job, and he did. We came out with the victory.
And as a prelude to the approaching trial of Casey Anthony, Baez tells us that with her, with all of his clients in fact, he says if the state wants to convict his clients, they'll have to work harder than they ever have before. In Kissimmee, Osceola County, Adam Longo, News 13.
Now, we try to contact the Osceola and Orange County State Attorney's Office for comment on this. They did not call us back. Next up for Baez and his team, the deposition of former meter reader Roy Kronk, scheduled for Thursday morning.